Hey, good afternoon, Maria. About the end of the video. It's 2:37. Sorry, p.m. It is November 3rd, and it is Sunday afternoon. I'm just kind of kicking back. Did some cleaning and just kind of relaxing for the rest of the day. And I was doing some thinking. And I'm trying to stay off the subject of gang stalking because I feel as though what I've gone through has given me enough to think about the issue myself. But I stumbled upon a new channel today, and I listened to some of this girl's videos, and some of the things she was talking about, kind of mirrored my own experiences, and maybe she's puzzled. I didn't respond to her video. I think I did leave a message for her, but, some of the things she said in her video kind of made me start thinking. And I know that, I wanted to say that, a lot of these so-called social networks that we have, like some people, willingly participate in these social networks. I suppose if you are a willing participant in a social network, then I think that's wonderful. But when you are an unwilling participant in a social network, and this is what I'm talking about, unwilling participant in social networks. For example, I unfortunately am related to my ex-family, okay? And because of that, they have it in their mind that, this is a family thing. This is about wealth sharing. This is about building our so-called empire, even though you never asked them to, okay? So they take on this, attitude that what is yours is theirs, and they can just come in and start changing the direction and, enforcing or trying to influence your work or whatever, doing things their way, okay? When in fact, this is not of any benefit to you. You are always going to be in a position of unhappiness, okay? Obviously, if my family was not involved, okay, and I mean, of course, I'm living in a town that is predominantly white. I understand that, okay? There is that issue, okay? But I do see other people of color who are doing okay. I do believe that my family, my ex-family, has put me in a situation that made it even worse. Okay. And, like, for example, this girl was talking about in her video how every time she did something right at work, this would create more gossip, more chatter. The reason why is because the reason why they are putting you through these jobs in the first place is because they have a sense of superiority over you. They feel as though you're better. That's why they feel like they have to make sure that they find you a job, because they want everybody to believe that you are incompetent and you aren't taking care of yourself. So they want to show or prove to everyone that they are better than you. So they somehow work things behind the scenes with this bullshit story about, I'm this particular person's family. So therefore, they convince people that they have rights, but they do not have rights, okay? They do not have any legal right to do what they're doing. But still, as you are doing your work, and this has happened to me several times. So when the girl mentioned this in her video about, when you do certain things that are right, it kind of makes people angry. And the reason why is the people who are around you are communicating with your network, whether that be a ex-sibling or sometimes it could be an ex-boss that's a little warped and can't let you go or whatever. They are communicating this information to this particular perpetrator. And when they find out that you are indeed, competent in their job, some of them might just arrange you in that one particular job, but when they find out that you're competent at your job, that's when they can't take it, because now they know that you're worth money and they want to have more control over you. So they will do everything they can to convince other people not to hire you, or that somehow they have some sort of legal right over you, or that somehow or another you have to go through them to get permission. Now, I do distinctly remember this one time when I was working over at the prosthetic place, okay? Now, when I first started there, now mind you, I had been working in QuickBooks since 2001, okay? 2001. And they had this lady from a particular accounting agency sitting with me. As if, first of all, I've been working in accounting for many years before that, but this was like 2014, and this lady was sitting next to me, and I was starting to get angry. I kept thinking, this person is trying to discredit me. Okay, as if I need somebody. I could have sat down and did that job just fine. Now, mind you, they did have special reports that they wanted that were tailored, that were not made in QuickBooks. They wanted certain things done on certain spreadsheets and stuff like that. You needed training. You wanted to know exactly how they did it so that you could turn it in their way. Okay, so there are certain things you have to be trained on. Okay, but when it came to QuickBooks, I didn't need that. I didn't need any training on that. I didn't need it. So I kept thinking, okay, who in the world is doing this to me? Why are they doing it? I know that over at the farmer's place, Steve Landry, the general manager, okay, we were all supposed to get trained on this inventory thing. I'm going to talk about stuff because, you know what, I know that my dreams have been ruined, so I'm just going to talk about stuff anyway, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, we were all supposed to be trained on this particular program, this particular software program, number one, and then also a certain method of how to keep track of expenses and stuff like that. So we were all supposed to go, the owner paid for this whole seminar thing, we even did lodging there, sat through this whole hours, whatever. Okay, I was never in competition with this particular general manager, at none whatsoever. He had a completely different position than me, okay? But I know that he was highly influenced by my family. In fact, he was the same person who had a relationship with his subordinate. Okay, now all this stuff was going on. I was completely ignoring it. I just figured, you know what, something's going on with me. I'm getting beat up. I'm being persecuted. Here's somebody who's carrying on a relationship. I wasn't judging him, but I was basically pointing out the fact that I'm not doing anything wrong, but yet everybody is piling their shit on me. Now, mind you, the general manager saw no importance of the no reason to take it as important that this particular owner was spending money on us getting trained or whatever. So he failed to make these changes within his department. Okay, but I was supposed to sit with the restaurant manager, making sure that she was, following up and everything. But that was not left to his responsibility. As a matter of fact, he wanted to do his own thing his own way. Okay, so I was the one who took on the more responsibility than I should have. Okay, so then we go through all this, right? So the inventory issue gets messed up. Okay, the general manager and his girlfriend / I guess he was the wife at the time, messes up the inventory. Guess who they put the blame on? Me. And they were more than willing to throw the blame on me. They wanted me to get in trouble. Okay, so it is a matter of somebody who feels in competition with you, okay? And these people get in these positions of making decisions over your life because your employer is not following any rules of the any laws, okay, that are supposed to be followed to prevent from domestic stalking, but they don't. They ignore it. So most of these people who have, these issues with their work and stuff like that, it's because of their families. I would say, probably. Mostly their families. Sometimes it's an ex-employer, but most of the time it's a combination between the family and the ex-employers, and they're all getting together and they're all doing stuff and whatever. I never asked to be a part of a network. Okay, ideally, I think I wanted to be in good standing with my previous employers because I always felt like I did a good job. And the reason why I would leave or look for another job or whatever is because, number one, the stuff that was going on around me that was beyond my control. Okay, so if I feel as though there was a tension there, I'm not going to ever talk to you again. So these people, my former family, they dominated the situation and then put this whole issue about the religious divide or whatever into the whole conversation, and it created so much tension, and made me look like I was just a bad person all the way around. I'm a normal person. I made, mistakes in life, but most people have. You know what I mean? But it was easy for them to convince people, I'm not going to be ashamed. This girl also mentioned the fact that she goes to work and she's dressed nice, okay? I remember, people use this. The funny part is it's very difficult for women in the workplace, okay? And I feel very bad for women in general in the workplace because women are expected to be polite. We're expected to dress professionally to work. But, we can get cut down because of reasons of pettiness and competition. There's a lot of people out there who are jealous, and in my case, my sisters, okay, they're jealous because they always figured me out to be somebody who was going to struggle because they made sure that I was never going to have anything. They made sure that my relationships when I was growing up when I was younger would get sabotaged. They made sure that my reputation got sabotaged. They every event, major event that went on in my life, they made sure it was sabotaged. And in their mind, they think it's a game. It's a game, right? They don't think of you as somebody who has to pay their bills, who needs to consider the possibility of retirement or anything like that. It's not important to them. What's important is that they, in their mind, think that they're in competition with you and they want to win at any cost. Okay, even though you have no idea what they're doing, you're not even interested in playing the game, you existing and living your life in peace the way that you want to is somehow an insult to them because they are narcissistic, obviously. Okay, so, I don't want to be a part of a network. You know what I mean? Ideally, like I said, I would. Like, let's just say, for example, everything was normal. Like my family was never involved in this mix, then I would probably drop, notes to previous bosses and stuff like that periodically. How are you doing? How's it going? Because I've always believed in doing that. I have always believed in having a good relationship with people once I've met them. Okay? But when you are dealing with gang stalking, there's sides being taken. Okay? There's sides being taken, even if the sides are not even logical. Okay? People just want to take sides because they like bullying. Tell me one justification, one real, literal reason why somebody would want to bully another person. Only because of hatred? You know what I mean? Obviously, I have the right to my own religious beliefs, but I bet he made it sound as if my whole family was his Christian family. I was turning against my Christian values and being a rebellious person. When in the fact of the matter is, I was never raised to be in his religion in the first place. Okay, so all of this shit is just some crooked person, this is the majority of domestic stalkers. They are usually people who are close to you, obviously. That's why they call it domestic stalking. It's usually a person who is your spouse, maybe a boyfriend, sometimes a friend from school or whatever, casual person, a neighbor or whatever. Somebody that you know, okay? But oftentimes it's somebody in more of your immediate family, like your sister, whatever, okay? So he used his privilege of looking like the rest of the people around him, right? And people think, well, he's, her brother-in-law. And I don't know why this seems impressive to some people, but maybe because he's a white man, they listen to him, okay? He's my brother, he was my brother-in-law. That doesn't mean that he has any rights over me, okay? It doesn't mean that he has any rights over my sister, but I'm sure he's pounding her ass into the ground with some sort of subjugative type bullshit, okay? He has no rights over me at all. What this is human trafficking, okay? It's illegal, and it's done right in front of your face, all right? And so that's why they want to discredit your competencies. That's why they want to do it. When I was working over at the farmer's place, I was given more responsibilities that were way outside of what should be expected of somebody who was supposed to be sitting at that desk. They gave me a graphic artist. They also had some other guy come in, and they were expecting me to, make sure I was keeping up with their stuff. And, I did it. I did it, mind you. But the point is that when they are putting you through these jobs, they don't want to take anything that you do seriously, okay? They study what you do. They do. And then they get to this point where it's like, okay, I can't believe she did that. Look what she can do. She can do that. Let me see if she can do this. Let me see if she can do that. Let me see. And they will literally break your back, okay? They know that you can do it, okay? And they become scared knowing that you can do it. So the fact that they know that you have far more potential than they would like to believe, because it hurts their feelings to know that you are actually decent and good at your job, right? They know that you could do better without them, so they want to make sure that they cling to you, to keep you where you need to be in their mind, okay? Which is illegal, okay? I don't care if somebody picked that job for me and they helped me get that job. They are a reference, and that is all. Now, I'm going to live a life filled with all kinds of injustices. I'm already understanding of that, okay? I don't expect people to be fair to me. I don't expect people to give me my due, okay? Because really, like I said, these people should have been sued a long time ago, okay? No questions asked. I don't care what the excuse is. Okay, you want to talk about my hair? That's discrimination. You want to talk about the religious issue? That's discrimination. You want to talk about, oh, she can't take credit for that job because whatever. Okay, so then you're basically trafficking me so you can have me and jerk me on a chain. Okay, so no matter what you do, no matter what you say, we know I'm right in this situation. Okay, but I'm going to tell people why. it's wrong for this to happen, and how you have no rights to doing. So when people look at me on the street, they need to know that I'm a victim of a terrible crime that they participate in. They are participating in. I will be back in the video later.